Supergirl finally appeared. Insane anime-based battles. Superman getting taken away from Earth. A lot happened in episode 5 of my adventures with Superman, so stay until the end of the video to find out all the references and Easter eggs in this episode, which is full of references to the DC Universe and even Dragon Ball. Welcome to Comic Chronicles. After many setbacks in the previous episodes, Clark and Lois end up bumping into each other in the Daily Planet office and try to talk about their relationship, but are interrupted once again, this time by Perry, who has a new task for them. He calls them to cover the Metropolis Best Bachelor contest, where Superman is one of the finalists and might possibly show up. Cat Grant intervenes and tells Perry White that she would be the best choice to cover the story because she knows Superman's secret. Clark didn't even know about the contest but decided to show up as Super when he learned that all the proceeds from the event would go towards treating children with cancer at the hospital. Jimmy has been avoiding Kent since the event in the last episode, where he had been invited to a panel as a speaker to talk about Superman, but upon arriving at the event, he discovered he would share the stage with Lex Luthor and the panel's theme was the Superman problem. You can check out the full analysis of the previous episodes by clicking on the card appearing on your screen. Olsen was so embarrassed and guilty that he doesn't know what to say or how to act near Clark and ends up running in the opposite direction each time he sees him and refuses his calls. In the meantime, Jimmy ends up saving Kara from being hit by a truck. She is surprised that a human helped her and tells him she is looking for someone in the city. Jimmy falls for her and says he will help her find that person. The two spend the day together, and she discovers and becomes enchanted by many things she had never known or tasted before, like mint chocolate ice cream. This outing of the two is very reminiscent of Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor strolling around the city. Supergirl was dressed similarly to Android 18 from Dragon Ball, and during the outing, she mentions that she has a very strict father, but the series has not yet revealed who he is. We know that her biological father died in the explosion of Krypton, so who is the father she is talking about? There are two theories floating around. The first is that her father is Brainiac, who is following his original programming and has looked after Kara Zor-El since she was a child, to restore the glory of the Kryptonian Empire, and thus, she sees him as a father. The second theory is that she was raised by a fusion of Brainiac and Zod, where Brainiac in this series was created with the personality of General Zod. At the Best Bachelor contest, Lois tries to find out what secret Cat knows about Superman, but actually, Cat only says she knows he is not single and might end up discovering who the romantic partner of the last son of Krypton is. Lois is relieved that she doesn't know his identity but is worried that Cat might end up discovering that Superman is dating her and learn the truth about Clark, so she asks him to act as if he was single, not suspecting that she herself would get jealous of this. Another detail in the contest is the resemblance of this presenter to the narrator of Dragon Ball martial arts tournaments. Did you also notice this? Comment down below. Before we continue, if you enjoy my adventures with Superman and want to stay on top of all details and Easter eggs of all episodes, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This way you help us continue to bring more videos involving our beloved Man of Tomorrow. The first bachelor announced in the contest is astronaut Hank Henshaw, confirming that he is indeed the cyborg Superman from the comics, now leaving us to expect when he will turn into cyborg Superman. The other bachelors, there are also other characters from the DC Universe. Chandi Gupta, who is Maya, a young Indian superheroine with elemental fire powers. She was a member of the Justice League Europe. Another one there is Berna Brilliant, the Blue Snowman. He was a thief, a former member of the Ice Pack and an old foe of Wonder Woman. The last participant is Silver St. Cloud, another Batman comics character to appear in this animation. Silver St. Cloud was Bruce Wayne's girlfriend and appeared more frequently in 70s comic books. Clark appears as Superman, wrapping up the contestants. After his arrival, no one wants to know about the other participants. Superman was the center of attention. Soon, Hank gets irritated with Superman's presence, delivers the same speech as Lex Luthor, and leaves, making it increasingly evident that we might see him soon as cyborg Superman. While the questions to Superman were being asked, Silver St. Cloud shows great interest in him, making Lois jealous. Back to Jimmy and Kara, some cute scenes happen, and their outing ends on top of the Daily Planet. At this moment, Jimmy admits his mistake of not wanting to talk to Clark and avoiding him at all costs, so then Olsen decides to go talk to Superman. At this point, the animation also shows that Kara considers Jimmy as a great friend of hers. Meanwhile, Lois Lane gets upset with Cat Grant for not considering her as one of Superman's girlfriends, even though she is his friend. Cat Grant says it would be impossible because she is a reporter, a normal person, unlike the others in the contest. Here we see a very interesting detail. Lois isn't just jealous of Clark, she doesn't feel special enough to be his girlfriend, which will lead to their fight near the end of the episode. This is a great merit of the series script and makes perfect sense with what Lois has been going through in the last episodes because she was abandoned by her father before and now has been abandoned again. She even mentions at some point in the episode that everyone has abandoned her and that Superman will do the same. Notice that this mistake she is making is the same thing Jimmy did, thinking that Clark would do something he actually never would. Lois's character development arc this season is interesting to see. As determined as the character is, she feels insecure many times, and this feeling of insecurity and abandonment has been built up over the first 5 episodes, a well-developed arc. Back to Jimmy, he takes Kara to the contest, and there he discovers that she is Kryptonian, and at that moment, Superman wins the title of the city's most coveted bachelor. Kara was ignored when trying to talk to him because he didn't even know who she was, and Clark really wanted to talk to Lois since he realized she was very upset with everything that happened. Superman and Lois finally talk. Lois talks about the proposal to go to Gotham, and Clark talks about having used the communicator. The two argue, and when it seemed like they would break up, Kara interrupts and, in anger, starts to attack her cousin. At this moment, Kara says that she expected to find a warrior seeing her cousin, but what she saw was a joke, and that the planet made Kal-El weak, making a clear reference to the beginning of Dragon Ball Z when Raditz arrived on Earth and said practically the same to Goku. Kara activates her armor, and then we have confirmation that she was the Kryptonian warrior that appeared in the previous episodes. The fight between the two is very well done. Superman leaves the contest area to go to a more deserted place so that people don't get hurt, also very similar to Goku, who always takes his enemies to deserted places so no innocents get hurt. During the battle, Kara talks to Brainiac and calls him Primus, who orders her to finish off Kal-El. The fight becomes increasingly intense, very much in the style of Dragon Ball. Kara's suit gradually breaks during the battle, and apparently, Primus is kind of controlling Kara since, at one point, her eyes lose their glow and she shoots her heat vision. Soon, Superman awakens a new power, the Ice Breath, which here in the animation was adapted as an ice beam. Primus becomes interested in Superman upon seeing his powers and orders Kara to capture him. Kal-El is defeated and placed in a chamber by Kara, who takes him off Earth, while Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane observe what happened, thus ending the episode. This episode was very good. I said episode 4 was the best of the season, but this one was even better. I hope the next episodes are like this, as it will elevate the series to another level. While the series puts Superman in casual adventures, such as attending a bachelor contest, it also develops increasingly tense situations, whether with Kara and Primus, or even the Task Force X. The level of threat is intensifying more and more, and this is becoming very interesting to see. Superman is being very well developed throughout the animation. I really like what is being done. Additionally, I really like the homage the animation paid to Dragon Ball. It was very cool, besides Goku's story having a total relation to Superman's story, since Akira Toriyama had already said that he was inspired by Superman when he created Goku. This episode was sensational, and I am getting more and more excited to see how the season's outcome will be concerning the villains. And besides all this, we also had the confirmation of the 3rd season of My Adventures with Superman, and this is great news because who knows, we might see more iconic villains appearing, like Darkseid, for example. But now I want to know your opinion. Did you like this episode of My Adventures with Superman? Are you happy to know that the series has been renewed for the 3rd season? Write down your thoughts in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel so that whenever new videos about our beloved Man of Steel come out, you'll be notified as soon as possible. Thank you so much for staying until the end of the video. See you next time.